when it comes to the Trinity, there isn't really much to say in regards to it, except the fact that it's obviously a well. Let me put it this way: in the conversation that I had with David, he and I've heard this before as well, because someone else said a similar thing that I've heard, and that is that essentially where the doctrine of the Trinity, the reason why it came about is simply because in the Bible you had the Father and the Son, and then so when obviously Jesus came down and spoke to his disciples, he said, they know him as the Son of God, so that's fine. And so the thing about it is because the Israelites, the apostles, they weren't idolaters. So it was easy for them to, like I said, they're not idolaters, so it's easy for them to believe what he said because, of course, they've read through the Old Testament. But then once the apostles were murdered off, and then you had the church essentially got taken over by the Catholics who were waiting in the wings. Then you had, of course, we know the classic thing about the Catholics, where what they did is you had a load of people who had their pagan beliefs, and those, obviously, in order to attract those people into the Christian faith, they had to, ease those beliefs in. But of course, you imagine a load of pagans coming in where they got all their different gods, and one god's this, another god's that, and then you explain to them that, oh yeah, we've got one God's the Father, but he's got a Son, and so now they'll get confused. So what they essentially did is, in order to change it so that it looks as if there's only one God, that's why they had to come up with all this nonsense, which is the with that Athanasian Creed. All of this, they had to make this up in order to please the pagans who believed in multiple gods, because of course then they'll say that you got a Father and then the Son, that I'll try and keep the good work up, but the only problem is actually finding Trinitarians who want to defend their belief, because it's the same thing at Speaker's Corner. Because I spoke to when I think it was Josh was trying to speak to David, you could see that the conversation was going on for a while, but you could see that David was kind of losing interest a little bit in the conversation, and he even said at the end that he tries to avoid conversations like that. So it's as if you have these Trinitarians, they have their belief, and they they believe in it, but the important thing is that now it's as if Trinitarians don't want to defend it. And it's a similar thing like I was just showing with John Calvin. You could tell John Calvin tried, but it's as if he's only got a certain amount of tolerance for, when it comes to defending his belief. And it seems like it's a similar thing with the Trinitarian as well, because even at Speaker's Corner, like, most of them don't want to talk about it. So this is a belief they've got, but yet they don't want to defend it. And you'd think that, they'd be eager to go on and show how wonderful this Trinity is, but it's almost as if they know how false it is and the problems that it has. And even that video I put up where it showed the problems that James White had against, what's his name, Dale Tuggy, I think it is. Because if you watch that video and you see that, and the thing is, the questions that Dale asked, they were classic questions. Which I think half the questions he asked, I've asked them to Trinitarians as well, because when you read through the Bible, you know what it says, and so it's easy to see the problems that because this Athanasian Creed, as you can see, it causes problems. There's who suffers for all right, yeah. See, for as the reasonable soul and flesh is one man, so God and man is one Christ. That doesn't make sense. Because he's comparing two different things. One, we also he be on the AB, not two but one Christ. Yeah, so this is where they get the one. So it says equal to the Father as touching his Godhead, and inferior to the Father as touching his manhood. Right. I don't know what this reasonable soul means. That's a strange statement. Reasonable soul, what does that mean? It says God of the substance of the Father begotten before the worlds. Okay. And man was the substance of his mother born in the world. Okay, Okay, so now finally they've put a quote from the Bible in. See, it takes a long time in the Athanasian Creed for them to quote something from the Bible, whereas in the Nicene Creed, it's a lot more. You can recognize stuff from the Bible quite easily in the Nicene Creed, but once you get to this Trinity stuff, this is where they have a hard time. This is the Catholic faith, which except a man believe faithfully, he cannot be saved. Remember that this is Church of England. Remember, the Church of England, that's the website I'm on, is churchofengland.org. And this, on their page, says, this is a Catholic faith, which except a man believe faithfully, he cannot be saved. So you have to ask yourself, is this, so the Church of England, are they Catholics? So on their website, they've got a statement saying that you have to believe the Catholic faith. So that's interesting. You have to ask yourself, is the Church of England, are they Catholics or are they not? If you go by this, since they agree with the Athanasian Creed, then they must still be Catholics. And you see, it is necessary that you hold the Catholic faith. So that means if someone's from the Church of England and they agree with this Athanasian Creed, then they're Catholics. That's interesting. That's an interesting one. So remember, I bet you that people from Church of England, they don't realize that they have to be Catholics according to their own belief. So they're not Protestant then. Yep. And also the fact that they got all these same rituals as well, like the Catholics anyway. But it seems like all it is just the Catholic. So all the Church of England is Catholic Church, just with the Pope removed, essentially. And of course, the head of the church, of course, is either the king or queen, so it's the king at the moment.